Coming up on this special edition of Reel to Reel.
I'm Carolee McGrath. I'll take you to the installation mass of Springfield's ninth bishop coming up.
I'm Terry Hegarty in Baltimore. I'll profile our new bishop, Baltimore native Bishop Mitchell Rozanski.
And Steve Kiltonick visits some Polish parishes that are very excited to have a new bishop who shares their heritage. These stories and more are just ahead on this special edition of Reel to Reel.
From throughout Western New England and beyond, this is Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
Hello and welcome to Reel at the end of what's been a very joyful and exciting week for folks in the Diocese of Springfield as they welcomed Bishop Mitchell T. Rozanski as the ninth bishop of the diocese. A native of the Archdiocese of Baltimore, Bishop Rozanski, a longtime auxiliary bishop, was installed during a Tuesday afternoon liturgy in St. Michael's Cathedral. Led by Boston Cardinal Sean O'Malley, Apostolic Nuncio Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano, and Bishop Emeritus Timothy A. McDonnell. It was attended by several hundred parishioners from throughout the diocese, as well as priests, deacons, and religious. Carolee McGrath now has more on this historic diocesan event.
Following Catholic tradition, Bishop Mitchell T. Rozanski knocked on the door of St. Michael's Cathedral in Springfield. He was greeted by Boston Cardinal Sean O'Malley, the Papal Nuncio Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano, and Monsignor Christopher Connolly, the Vicar General of the diocese.
Bishop Mitchell, as Metropolitan Archbishop of Boston, I have the privilege and great joy of welcoming you to your cathedral.
Bishop Rozanski, a native of Baltimore, was installed as the ninth bishop of Springfield during a special mass at St. Michael's Cathedral on Tuesday, August 12th.
Your Eminence, Cardinal Sean, thank you for welcoming me to this cathedral. Your words and the prayers of so many are a tremendous source of blessing on this happy day as I look forward to responding in gratitude to the Holy Father's appointment.
There were more than 900 people in attendance: cardinals, bishops, priests, women religious, deacons, interfaith leaders, politicians, and Bishop Rozanski's family. The 56-year-old spent 10 years as a parish priest before being named Auxiliary Bishop of Baltimore. Pope Francis named him Springfield's bishop back in June. The Mass was televised live on EWTN, Catholic TV, and locally on Fox 6 and on 22 News. Springfield's Bishop Emeritus Timothy A. McDonnell, who announced his retirement 18 months ago, made the introductory remarks.
I welcome particularly two people without whom this day would never have come to be: the bishop's parents, Alfred and Jean Rodon.
Then came comments from Cardinal O'Malley, followed by the reading of the official appointment letter from Pope Francis, read by Archbishop Vigano. Next, in accordance with church tradition, the letter was shown to the diocesan consultors, after which Cardinal O'Malley and Archbishop Vigano escorted Bishop Rozanski to the cathedra, where he officially assumed the role as the ninth bishop of Springfield. Bishop Rozanski was greeted by representatives from the local church and the wider faith community. The Mass was carefully planned to represent all the different nationalities in the diocese. The readings were in both English and Spanish, and the prayer of the faithful was read in 10 different languages.
chúng con cầu xin Chúa.
Bishop Rozanski himself spoke English, Spanish, and Polish during his homily, and he focused his message on the biblical theme of the shepherd.
Pope Francis reminds us in the joy of the gospel that we are all called to follow the example of the shepherd, reaching out to those who for any reason may have become alienated from God and the church, and welcoming them back by our compassion, our joy, and our witness to the love of God at work in the world.
The bishop is to represent the Good Shepherd, and even his bishop staff is a very, very concrete symbol of the bishop's office and responsibility. The Catholic people have always had a very special relationship with their bishop, and so we can see the enthusiasm that his being named has generated here, and we accompany him with our prayers and good wishes.
Bishop Rozanski's family flew in for the occasion. His parents, Jean and Alfred, as well as his two brothers, Kenneth and Albert, and their families, sat up front.
We're very proud of him, but the thing is, we're sad to see him leave Baltimore, and because we're, close-knit family, but we're happy for him.
Father Gary Daly, the vocations director for the diocese, says Bishop Rozanski will be a loving, faithful shepherd.
I was intrigued with Bishop's coat of arms in the sense to serve the Lord with gladness. The action word to serve, I think, is very indicative of really Bishop Rozanski's idea of what he should be as a bishop. And his choosing of that motto 10 years ago when he became the auxiliary bishop of Baltimore is about service. And that's what he did as a priest of the Archdiocese of Baltimore and also as an auxiliary bishop. And he's going to bring that same motto, that same action here to the Diocese of Springfield. And not only to serve, but to serve with gladness, to serve with joy.
Political consultant Tony Signoli says the bishop's appointment will not only impact Catholics, but all residents of Western Massachusetts.
Western Massachusetts has another new leader, a leader who has a huge impact in so many communities throughout Western Massachusetts. It's almost as if we had a new major corporate CEO or a major mayor, or almost the governor of Western Massachusetts to a certain degree. The diocese affects so many lives and has such an impact in so many communities that the political significance of this is that you've got another new leader in Western Massachusetts who will take a seat at the table with so many other leaders for the public good.
Ever since the announcement back in June, Bishop Rozanski has made it clear that he wanted the installation Mass really to be a celebration for all Catholics throughout the diocese. Now, clearly, not all 200,000 plus Catholics could fit inside St. Michael's Cathedral, so he made special arrangements to meet and greet people personally after the ceremony. The diocese hosted a reception at the Better Living Center on the grounds of the Big E in West Springfield following the ceremony. Marian Johnson is a parishioner at St. Michael's and read during Mass.
He is very approachable. Last Sunday, we have 8:30 Mass, and after Mass we have coffee hour and fellowship. And he was on his way getting ready for 10 o'clock Mass, and he came into the center, and he sat with us for a while, introduced himself. I mean, it was a surprise visit. We weren't expecting him, and it was just wonderful. Shows us how personable he is.
Deacon Angel Perez, whose home parish is St. Michael's, assisted Bishop Rozanski during the installation Mass. The father of 5 is also a detective for the Springfield Police Department.
He's very approachable. Okay, I just met him twice, one being yesterday while we were practicing today's event, and he knew me like he knew me forever. He's very good. I'm looking forward to work with him, hand to hand.
Bishop Rozanski was equally impressive to the youth, including Deacon Perez's daughter, Ruth.
I'm excited. He seems a little bit younger, so I'm excited about the new changes and maybe some more youth groups and some more youth conferences and things like that, so it seems exciting.
Rebecca James is a member of the San Damiano Youth Group at St. Stan's in Chicopee. Are you excited about our new bishop?
Oh, I'm thrilled about our new bishop. Looks like he has a lot going on for the youth and the pro-life movement, so that's awesome.
Bishop, there are many parishes in the diocese that have very strong youth groups. Many of these kids are pro-life and they're on fire. What's your message to them today?
My message is you're a great witness to the gospel. by being pro-life and by standing up for life, because when we do that, we really bring God's love into the world. Keep on doing it. We need to hear the message, and we need you to witness to it.
And so as the faithful welcome their new shepherd, he's inspiring young and old and everyone in between to serve the Lord with gladness. Reporting for Reel to Reel, I'm Carolee McGrath.
And Bishop Rozanski will be traveling to the Berkshires on Sunday, August 31st, to greet the Catholic community there at a reception planned for St. Joseph's Church. We'll have more details next week on our show. With this installation, the people in the Diocese of Springfield have gotten to know our new bishop a little better. Terry Hegarty and videographer Sean Manning last month traveled to Baltimore, to the city where Bishop Rozanski spent most of his life. The bishop knew from an early age that he wanted to become a priest. In the second of a two-part series, Terry tells us about the influence the bishop's parish, family, and Polish heritage had on his faith.
Mitchell Thomas Rozanski was born August 6, 1958 in Baltimore, Maryland, and had spent his entire life there. With his installation Mass August 12th at St. Michael's Cathedral, Bishop Rozanski officially became the 9th bishop of the Diocese of Springfield. Now, making his home here in Springfield, he is the first Polish-American bishop of the diocese. The installation, which hosted more than 900, took place nearly 30 years after his ordination to the priesthood. Growing up in the Graceland Park section of Baltimore, Mitchell Rozanski, his parents, and two younger brothers lived in this house here on Norman Avenue, a short walk from his parish and his school. And his parents still live here in this predominantly Polish neighborhood 45 years after purchasing the home. Bishop Rozanski's parents, Alfred and Jean Rozanski, say that while you wouldn't know it today, their eldest son used to be rather shy, but he was always very well liked.
And the neighbors, they all thought highly of Mitch, and he would do anything that he could possibly do. You know, he was always a dedicated person.
Anyone that met Mitch, or had anything to do with Mitch, they regarded him highly and liked him to no end.
By all accounts, Bishop Rozanski is a very humble, approachable man, introducing himself as Bishop Mitch.
Well, in the ministry of Jesus, whenever we see Jesus going out into the towns and the villages, Jesus, first of all, would search out people. He searched Zacchaeus out when Zacchaeus was up in the tree. He spoke with the woman at the well, even though it was not the custom of the day to speak with the woman. She was a Samaritan. So Jesus himself models that ministry of being approachable. And I think that that's really just a great model for any leader in the church.
I always tell him, I said, Mitch, remember where you come from. Don't let it go to your head. And just be yourself. And he is. Everybody feels comfortable around him.
Alfred and Jean say that from a very early age, their firstborn was a kind person, and he always helped take care of his younger brothers, Kenneth and Albert. Bishop Mitch says he's grateful for his close family and for his Polish culture.
I think in the Polish culture, it was just assumed that faith is an integral part of what our culture is all about. It was the faith that helped preserve the Polish people through times of invasions and times of wars. The Polish people have a great dedication to the church because the church also, in addition to bringing the gospel, has preserved the culture and the heritage. So I thank God for that deep tie between faith and culture.
Bishop Mitch is a graduate of Our Lady of Mount Carmel High School and the Catholic University of America. He continued on to his seminary training at the Theological College at Catholic University. His parents say that their eldest knew by age 15 that he wanted to be a priest, and they believe that simply practicing their faith had a huge impact on all of the family members.
And try to be a good example by going to church and services, and we always say grace at our table, and little things like that you didn't ordinarily think they would pick up on, they do.
It was here at Sacred Heart of Mary Parish in Baltimore that as a young man, Mitchell Rozanski felt a calling to the priesthood. And that vocation was fostered as he worshiped with his family, as he served as an altar server, and as he volunteered at the parish rectory. Following a recent Mass at the parish, Reel to Reel spoke with the celebrant, another native son, who's normally in Rome and who has known Bishop Mitch since childhood.
I can say he's a genuine human being. He's a man who's very compassionate, cares about people, and certainly has a great sense of humor. So I think he will be a tremendous blessing to the people of Springfield, and he'll be certainly someone who listens to them and will be someone who's not afraid to make any tough decisions that have to be made, but always bearing in mind the good of the people.
Bishop Mitch attended the parish school right next door to the church. He says that his Catholic education was just one way that his vocation was fostered.
Faith was really rooted well in our family. I had the privilege of working around the church and witnessing what the priests were able to bring to their people, the love that they had for their people. And then I was able to see how people responded to that care and all that the priest gave.
He's been extremely happy in his vocation and says that he hopes that society will gain a better understanding of the call to be a priest or religious.
I'm praying that as our world recognizes in so many ways the futility of secular humanism, we will see the beauty of what it is to be called as priest or as deacon, as religious men and women in serving the Lord, and the joy that brings.
His parents say that they were filled with pride at their son's priestly ordination nearly 30 years ago.
We even told him, before that if you change your mind, don't feel bad about, stepping out. It won't hurt us. But we didn't want him to change his mind, and he didn't.
We were happy and proud, and we knew he'd be dedicated. We knew whatever he got into, he was going to be dedicated to it. So that made us feel really proud of him.
During his homily at his farewell Mass in Baltimore last month, Bishop Mitch spoke of the occasion as bittersweet. Sad that he must leave Baltimore, but honored to have been selected to shepherd the people of the Diocese of Springfield. His parents feel the same.
We're just happy that we're sharing our son, and maybe he'll make somebody else's life happy and better. And that's all we wish for.
The Director of Communications for the Archdiocese of Baltimore says that Bishop Mitch is looking forward to ministering in Springfield.
I think he's really eager to begin this new chapter and to respond to the Pope's confidence in him. He really feels prepared and is excited and eager to work with the priests and the people in Springfield.
Baltimore Archbishop William Laurie says that a bishop must convey the love of God.
This pastoral love is not just for the sake of making all of us feel good. It is for the sake of bearing witness to the gospel. And I know Bishop Rozanski is going to be a magnificent witness to the hope of the gospel.
Bishop Mitch says he's glad to have the opportunity to further the new evangelization in Springfield.
And I think as a bishop, to encourage everyone to live their faith to the fullest, because in living the faith to the fullest, as we see what Pope Francis does in his example, it attracts others to the faith. They're curious, then they start to explore more. So I think that's part of the new evangelization. And as bishop, I have to be a part and a supporter and a cheerleader for that new evangelization.
With his installation complete, the cheerleading can now commence. Reporting for Reel to Reel, this is Terry Hegarty.
And I don't believe there will be any shortage of new cheerleaders here in the Diocese of Springfield. Still to come on Reel to Reel, the first ever Springfield Bishop of Polish heritage is welcomed with pride. This story and more is still to come on this edition of Reel to Reel.
Those are so in tears and pain.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. I'm Passionist Brother Terrence Scanlon, your Chalice host, inviting you to take time out of your warm days and join us Sunday morning at 10. This week we welcome Bishop Mitchell Rozanski, our new bishop, as we celebrate the 20th Sunday in Ordinary Time. The Chalice of Salvation, your spiritual connection, Sunday morning at 10, right here on 22 News.
He is a doctor of the church, a messenger of hope, and the finder of lost things. He is Saint Anthony of Padua, and one of his first-class relics will soon be on display right here in Western Massachusetts. Come to St. Anthony Maronite Catholic Church, 375 Island Pond Road in Springfield, from September 6th through the 14th to see the relic. There will be daily masses and opportunities for confession. There will also be food and a religious gift shop at the adjacent Cedars Hall. Special days have been scheduled for different heritages and cultures. There's even a special Youth Day. Father Warren Savage will offer a 3-part evening lecture series about St. Anthony of Padua, who is a beloved Franciscan saint known as a gifted preacher. Don't miss this rare opportunity to see this relic, which will travel all the way from Italy. For more information, call 413-452-0577 or log on to santanthonysrelic.com.
Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, I didn't care what they grew up to be, as long as they were happy. To give up marriage and children just seems like too much to walk away from.
He seems to think he's making a real difference in people's lives, and he's so happy. Isn't that what's most important?
I never would have imagined our son as a Catholic priest.
The first bishop named to the Diocese of Springfield, who is of Polish heritage, Bishop Rozanski, will certainly feel at home here in a diocese with a strong Polish history. Steve Kiltonick now has reaction to the new bishop's installation and the pride many feel in sharing the same roots.
Newly installed Springfield Bishop Mitchell Thomas Rozanski grew up in a family that was proud of their Polish heritage. The first Polish-American bishop in the Springfield Diocese, Bishop Rozanski should feel right at home in Western Massachusetts, which historically has strong Polish roots. St. Stanislaus Bishop and Martyr Basilica in Chicopee is the first Polish church founded in Western Massachusetts. It was established in 1891 by devout Polish immigrants who arrived in Chicopee determined to worship in their native language. The Order of Franciscan Friars, minor conventuals, have provided the parish's spiritual leadership since early in the 20th century. Father James McCurry, who is the minister provincial of the Friars, headquartered in Baltimore, has known Bishop Rozanski for the past 10 years.
Here is a man who came from the same ethnic tradition as they did, the same tradition of the Polish Catholic faith chiseled on the anvil of suffering. Mitch Rozanski came from a family that had experienced that same testing of the faith in Poland. We've also got someone who's deeply passionate about reaching out to the poor, the needy. He's a very pastoral man, very kindly, has a good sense of humor. I think the Springfield Diocese will be greatly enriched in a spiritual and pastoral way by the coming of Bishop Rozanski.
Divine Mercy Parish in Three Rivers has a long Polish-American history. It was founded in 1903 by Polish immigrants who worked in the local mills. Once known as Saints Peter and Paul Parish, the Polish influence remains strong. Inside the church, Polish saints gaze down from the ceiling, while the Divine Mercy Grotto is a constant source for spiritual reflection. In the summer, the parish holds its annual picnic, where people come to polka, eat, and try their luck at the many games.
All bets down.
Of course, you don't have to be Polish to enjoy the food. People line up all day inside the parish hall for the Polish plate, which consists of 3 cabbage pierogies, 1 gołąbki, kielbasa, kapusta, and rye bread. Prior to the Mass, Pastor Stefan Niemczek held a polka Mass, which included some traditional Polish costumes.
How do you want me to serve you, Lord? How
and I spread your word.
Many of the parishioners' families go back several generations to the parish's founding.
Hallelujah! That was my reaction. We're very thrilled, very, very thrilled. And in Polish, I will say, bardzo dobre. Very good.
The Polish community in Three Rivers feels a sense of pride with this bishop.
Everyone I've spoken to have just said, do I want to use the term it's about time, but it's about time and we're ready for it.
Fred Brozek, who's 80, has belonged to Divine Mercy his whole life.
It's about time. We had a Polish pope. He was a saint. He's a saint right now. So we hope that the same thing happens with a new bishop. And we hope that he keeps the Polish traditions going in the existing Polish parishes.
Here at Immaculate Conception in Indian Orchard, another predominantly Polish parish, the grounds of the church are transformed every summer into the Dożynki Festival, where people come from across the diocese to enjoy the Polish food and music. Of course, Polish pride is evident everywhere. Pastor Stanley Sokol says that the parish has retained its strong Polish-American heritage.
Dożynki means harvest, and this is kind of a traditional way of celebrating this harvest festivities. In Poland, we are trying to have a special mass, like tomorrow, the Polka Mass, thanking God for the harvest, a good harvest of this year. We are going to bless the loaf of bread and some food.
Lord, accept us as we are, for we come from near and far to show our love for you.
We welcome Bishop Rozanski with, joy and enthusiasm. We keep praying for his ministry, and someday I'm sure he's going to visit with our parish.
This is the 34th year for Dożynki. Barbara Wozniak is the chairperson of this year's festival.
I thought it was fantastic. It reminded me of when Pope John Paul was nominated as the first pope, the Polish pope. So it went away from the traditional nationality that they were choosing. So I think it's great. It gives the Polish people vigor. They're just celebratory, and we can't wait for them to come and visit us.
And I'm glad we've got someone so personable and eager to be here. He seems like he's very happy to be here, and we certainly can use his help. And we are prepared to offer him ours.
16-year-old Annette Roback says the youth are optimistic about Bishop Rozanski.
I know the youth of the church has a lot of questions, so we're eager to meet with him and have some of our questions answered.
By all accounts, the Polish community has warmly welcomed Bishop Rozanski as he begins his journey as the 9th Bishop of the Springfield Diocese. Na zdrowie. For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
Certainly the Polish-American community here is very excited, and although the bishop is proudly of Polish descent, he tells us that he is honored and excited to be a bishop to every ethnicity represented throughout his new home, the 4 counties of Western Massachusetts. And you can stay in touch with these exciting early days of Bishop Rozanski's tenure on our news and information website, iobserve.org, your 24/7 source for all the news impacting the Catholic Church. That's iobserve.org. And for this week, that's Real to Real. Join me again next week as we preview the upcoming and historic presentation of the first-class relic of St. Anthony coming to Springfield in just a few weeks. Have a great week.
Real to Real is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.